Welcome back to Work Experience Discover, the IAESTE ESBL podcast. My name is Mark, and I am the host also for the second season of the IAESTE podcast. And this year is a very special one for IAESTE because we are celebrating our 75th anniversary. Therefore, the board also decided to add a new tagline to our logo. Together we shape the future of youth. That's what we have been doing the past 75 years, and we planned to do that for another 75 years. And therefore we also added new partnerships. And the one we put into spotlight today is the partnership with INSPIRELI. INSPIRELI Awards serve young architects free of charge, regardless of social, economics or ethnic conditions. And they show that nobody is alone. The Beirut Port project, which is the main point of the IAESTE and INSPIRELI partnership, aims to give students the chance to contribute to the renewal of the city after the devastating explosion in August 2020. There, nearly 50% of all buildings in Beirut got destroyed, and now INSPIRELI gives them young architects the chance to contribute to rebuilding the city by hosting a competition. I'm very happy to have Karel with me today. He's the president and a founding member of INSPIRELI. He was the keynote speaker of the annual conference 2022, which took place in January as a hybrid format conference in Vienna. And today we will not just talk about INSPIRELI and the history of the association, and of course also about the Beirut Port competition. We also talk about something Karel calls the Netflix of architecture. So I really hope you enjoy this episode, and if you like it, please follow us on all the social media channels and give us a rating also on all the podcast platforms. And I'm looking forward to many more exciting conversations throughout 2022. And please now enjoy the first episode of this year. Thank you very much. Hi, Karel. Thank you very much for being part of the podcast. Maybe for the very first question, can you please introduce yourself a little bit to our audience?
Oh, thank you, Mark. It's first of all, it's a great honor for me to have this opportunity to speak about our projects and, of course, about me. It's hard to define who I am. At the first point of view, I feel that I am a psychologist of architecture. I'm teaching at the CTU in Prague, and I'm head of the psychology of architecture research team. The second point of view, I'm a businessman. I have created our private company, Staltex. We are doing sun shading, roulettes, roman blinds. And I'm, of course, a supporter of students of architecture. So I'm a president and co-founder of INSPIRELI Awards. And in Czech Republic, I am president of Czech Deco team. It's a group of more than 500 architects and around 40 companies cooperating together. And maybe at the end of my introduction, I can say that currently I am a Eastern Europe director of American Institute of Architects, what is big responsibility, and I'm really proud of it.
Wow, that's really a lot of things to do. Sometimes I'm asking myself how people like you can manage everything together, to be honest. Maybe because I looked at your LinkedIn profile, of course, for the research on this episode, and you've written there about architecture psychology. And as someone who is not into architecture, I'm quite curious actually what's that about.
Very often after this question, I'm giving my question. Yeah? What do you think about, or how you think about sports psychology? Because when you figure out that sports psychology is focused on only athletes, because you as a, for example, representative on different sports, you need to have a psychological or psychic balance to being a winner. Doesn't matter of your personal feeling, because sometimes you need to feel fair and to be winner. So in the same way, I discovered that there is missing anything like that in architecture, because there is only for almost 70 years education or research on environmental psychology, and I think that is the big misunderstanding, because it's not possible to do psychology in architecture and omit architects themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the psychology of architecture, in case of definition, it's a science which studies psychological phenomena such as values, statuses, processes, in professionality, personality, and opinions in architecture. It means it's a relation between architects and clients. And only the architecture is the way how those groups can affect the others. So what we have what we did, we established a psychology research team before 10 years before. I did a PhD on that, so I am doctor of psychology of architecture, and we studied to research architecture personality. After 3-4 years, we decided that we have to create a subject for students of architecture, because we figured out that architects, they know nothing about people. It was really big surprise, and we have strong evidence to say it openly. So then we created a subject where we educate students for self-understanding, communication abilities, responsibility, and the most important one, overlook on themselves.
Okay, when you just one question, follow-up question on that, when you say architects know nothing about people, does it mean how their buildings, they design, what effect they have on people, or what people want, or both?
Maybe no. The biggest issue is that when you research within architects, you can figure out that they feel responsibility for the buildings from the technical point of view, and they have. It's the same like. Can you imagine that you are, for example, bus driver or pilot? And the way how you can take responsibility for being driver or to pilot driving or piloting airplane, you have to study that, and only what you study you can take responsibility of. But the problem of and I can say all universities all around the world in architecture, there is no psychological education. So it means that only what you study, and 99% of your education is focused on creation buildings. And for example, when you make research between architects and you ask them what is their job, all of them can confirm that around 75% of their work is communication, but they know nothing about it. So it's only the easiest way how to explain you how important is to study, because for example, from our another outcomes, we can prove that for example 25% of architects are cholerics, 25% are phlegmatics, and it is the same like in normal human society. But as an architect or client, when you search for architect, you have 75% of misunderstanding is to choose a different typology of personality, and then it can be a big misunderstanding. And we knew that in case architect and client are in good balance on the psychological or mental level, they work together and they can create something. Without that, it's not easy.
Oh, okay, wow. Actually, I think I have a ton of questions more, but we should move on. Basically, why you're here, because IAESTE partnered up with INSPIRELI, and INSPIRELI Awards is really something really great. I just had a look through the website, and it's actually amazing how that developed over the past 7 years. And maybe give us a short introduction on INSPIRELI Awards, what it's about, and how you help young architects actually to accelerate their careers or their development through INSPIRELI Awards.
INSPIRELI Awards is something what I can call like as my destiny. Yeah. When I started, it was 2014 with Professor Božek Čípek, and it was according to his idea with Václav Havel, our first president after a communist regime. We decided that we are going to build the biggest students' architecture competition, not because of our ego, but because of the potential to help. Students' architecture competitions are everywhere, but nobody cares about the winners. This is the biggest issue. So that's why we decided that in case we would like to help them, we need to be the biggest one. And I can say that it was the right decision and very hard path to go through.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we had no experience to do such a big project, because when it's anything global, you are challenging. You challenge to a lot of issues you cannot imagine. Yeah? For example, the easiest one is the time zones. For example, you would like to finish. There is a date of termination, and you would like to close the competition, and then you figure out that there is Aljaška and then still 24 hours a day. Yeah, so there are a lot of funny stories behind. However, the idea was to be in touch with students, to make a competition, and to ensure that each students from all around the world have the same chance to prove their talent. And this is the main base of it. And the second is that it's not about only inspiration, but not being inspired, but to inspire the others. So that's why we have no rules for topics. So you can upload any of your school projects, and then you can show what issues you are challenging in your country, because there's a big difference between topics in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe. Yeah, and this competition is what I said at the beginning. It's like a destiny of my life, and I do maximum to stay it alive.
Yeah.
And to make it bigger. And I have to say, Mark, that it's bigger and bigger, and much bigger than I can ever imagine in my life. Yeah. So
yeah, that's actually amazing. And maybe to sum it up, because last year you have that on your website, 142 countries actually, so students out of 142 countries participated in the INSPIRELI Awards. And when you go through the history, it's really impressive. There's, as an example, there was also the competition, I think it was a bit outside of INSPIRELI Awards, if I understood it correctly, about the Czech embassy in Ethiopia, where another 280 projects were handed in, and it got built in the end, isn't it? If I
not yet, but it's already in the. It's not yet built because of COVID. But currently, I received information that it's going to be built. But I have to say that it will not be the same as was on a winning project from student, because there should be a competition for practicing atelier, and then it will be a little bit adjusted according to their how to say experience. Yeah,
yes, of course.
It's students proposal. However, when it will be done, there will be put the names of the winners, students winners on the wall of the building. So I think it's support. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And wow. And actually, what also stuck my mind is because the winning trophy is like the Stanley Cup, because every winner gets graved in, and it's called Wings of the Future. And I loved it really much, because I think that's what you're doing. It's really helping students also to get the confidence that they are able to do something, isn't it?
It's this trophy means a lot of to me, because my friend Professor Božek Šipek was really well-known glass designer and architect as well. And when he was finishing this trophy, he was dying because of cancer. So this is it's his really last work, and I received this final vase only 4 days before he dies. So it was really sad, and because we knew, and he was aware that it's not possible to build another one. We decided to contact the first winner of INSPIRELI Awards, and we asked him, please, can you not take it? And that was the idea to change it into the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
And a very important part are the wings, because it's a message to the winners that they are not the best architects in the planet, but they are students with the best potential to be best in the future.
Yes.
In case they will work hard on themselves.
Wow, that's really, and again, because when I looked, I'm not into architecture, but it's really, yeah, it was inspiring. Sometimes I really wish we had that in electronics. Maybe we have, but I just never heard about it throughout university. And I want to talk about that because that was actually the point IAESTE and INSPIRELI Awards were partnering up. And it's regarding the Beirut Port competition. And everybody here and the audience, you may know, in Beirut, in the port, there was the huge explosion in August 2020. And this explosion destroyed nearly 50% of all the houses, or damaged nearly 50% of all the houses. And now, more than 2 years later, just 1% of all those destroyed or damaged houses were repaired. There's a very nice, actually, interactive map on also linked on INSPIRELI Awards website. It's called Beirut Recovery. And it also showed me how devastating this explosion was. And we partnered up, IAESTE and INSPIRELI. And please, Karel, go a little bit through it. Why do you do that? How was the idea, and how was the process from going then to Lebanon, talking to the mayor, who is one huge support, and I think he's also in the jury, in the final jury of the competition. How was the process on how the development happened to show Lebanon and Beirut that they are not alone?
It's again, Mark, hard to say everything in only a few.
I know.
However, what I'm doing is that I'm observing, yeah, what is going on in the world. Yeah, when you create the biggest students architecture competition, then it has one negative side, and it's that whenever it's happening anything in different countries, you have everywhere your friends. So then you are afraid of them, yeah. And it's for example in war issues in Yemen, and a lot of problems in Cuba. A lot of things are not known, and only me I am informed from students or architects. They are giving me their pains or sharing it with me. And the Beirut port, of course, when the blast happened, I was immediately afraid. So I contacted all of my friends, and I know a lot of architects from Lebanon. And then I was really shocked that after the blast, I think half year, I have heard nothing in the broadcast. So I was already experienced with Vatican City State, because I contacted them to nominate the jury members into our world biggest jury. And then when I was thinking about that, on the one side I'm in touch with Vatican. It's something more than how to say, there is a spirit point of view. Then Václav Havel, our president, was really spiritual and a really nice personality. So when I was thinking about that, I felt that I can do something. I can offer something to Beirut, and when you can, you have to. Yeah. So you know it. Yeah. So we I have connected one of my friend, and it was of course a student contestant in the previous years, Alexander Zain, and now he's in the jury. He's based in Beirut. So we called each other, and we were talking about, and I think that that it was his idea, that he said, hey, what about to do something like that, like a competition. So I sent the offer to the mayor, and it was big surprise that I received information that they have no idea what to do.
Okay.
Because they have so many problems, such a big issues there with economy. So they didn't know how to rebuild the port. So our offer was really in the right time, and we could together open absolutely the most incredible, most amazing competition for students, because normally it's not normal that students will do that. Yeah, it's normal. I thought that there will be a lot of another competition for big ateliers, and only our competition will be like a student's point of view. But currently we are only one. Yeah, there is only one, the biggest competition, and and I don't know what will be the outcome. Yeah, what they will do with our proposals. But I decided in my heart that it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's good message for Lebanese people to figure out that they are not alone, because I felt that they were alone. Nobody were talking about. So this was the background for how we decided to start it. And of course I was afraid of everything, because to contact Lebanon, then to feel the responsibility if I'm good enough as a manager to manage anything like that. And so step by step, then I figure out that, for example, in the summer I find out that it is close the first anniversary. And I called to Lebanon, to Beirut, and I asked them, are you doing anything? And they said, we are doing nothing. It was another shock. Yeah, can you imagine? Then 1 year after, and they are afraid to do anything, because they have still the relationship between the people and the government is not balanced. So it was hard, and I'm really proud that IAESTE is now partner. And no, we are doing, all of us together, we are doing a really good job on this.
I mean, and I think especially in Middle Europe, we sometimes have the problem, and saying that then coronavirus crisis basically was shifting the focus of the whole society, on the whole globe, actually, on one big problem, and we tend then to forget about everything else around us. And there are so many things. There was just recently also the volcano explosion in Tonga in the Pacific Ocean, and just the first days you heard a lot about it, and then now we don't. I just had to look up what's the situation at the moment, because then the last message I really heard in the news was that New Zealand and Australia were sending some ships to deliver aid. And I think that's a really good thing. And I think IAESTE, with our network on students on different universities, and together with INSPIRELI having also this network, we can really deliver something good, whatever they make out of it. And I'm really looking forward to the results. I think now students can still apply for the competition throughout the middle of the year, right?
Yeah, at the beginning we thought that it will be till the end of February, but then because it's really hard to be in touch with the government of Lebanon, because and in Beirut, because they have so many issues. So we decided that we will prolong it to give a chance to another students during we call it summer term, but maybe it's spring term in the different countries. And that's why we can really invite more and more universities. However, we have information that there are a lot of universities working on that. For example, we received already some projects from Niger. So it's really the entire world. And maybe I would like to focus on a little bit on Africa, because the way how we present this Beirut Port competition in Africa was that finally Africa can help. It's
Yeah.
a different point of view, and it's a different chance to give them how to say, to feel not like they are a receiver of help, but they are somebody who can contribute. So this is Mark. I have to say it's every day different. Yeah.
Yes.
And when I met, I was teaching Lukáš Kolibar. He's a board member of IAESTE. That's why I got a chance to meet Thomas, president of IAESTE, and then we can start our cooperation. So I have to say that from my point of view, Beirut Port competition is organizing by two how to say, association or community. One is IAESTE and the second one is INSPIRELI. So we are there both together. And I'm really happy that in Vienna I had a chance to present it personally, to show that really we are partners, and because we are more based on a virtual world, and you have already the network. Yeah. So when we put it together, we can be really powerful, and with our power, which is focused on not making money, but focus on the really help, we can be really strong and efficient. Yeah, this is the way.
I think there it's really good. We share a lot of same values, and we don't do that for money, both organizations. And that really helps. And I think I really like the point you made regarding Africa, because also sometimes really people think, okay, only receiving, but it's so easy also to not giving back is the wrong term, don't understand me wrong, but they can really do something. And I'm really looking forward actually to the results myself. So I have had it on my radar. I think the first contact was, I don't remember, but that was really fascinating. I'm really looking forward to the results and how it will be. And maybe for everyone also throughout the IAESTE, I think it was circulated, I can confirm, in Austria again and again now, the last days, to contact the Austrian universities. I can confirm that. So I hope that every IAESTE community committee is doing the same, to really get as many students in touch with the project as well, because here we can really give some back and show especially, I'm not sure how is it in the rest of the world, but sometimes you feel there is some dividing between people, but especially in competitions like this, you can show that we are all in this together. And I think that's what I really love about it. We all can come together virtually, like we are also now sitting here virtually on Zoom, and working on something good and something positive. And so I hope we can really do something there. And now let's come to the last point, actually, because you were our keynote speaker at the annual conference in 2022, just in the end of January. And there first of all, we were lucky to meet each other also in person. But you said something throughout your keynote speech I'm now really interested in, because you called it the Netflix of architecture. And I know Netflix is a kind of buzzword, but what you presented really catched my interest. And I'm not even an architect. And it's based on the INSPIRELI education. And I looked a little bit through it yesterday in the evening. I was sitting on my couch and clicking a little bit through it. And INSPIRELI education is basically where students can submit their projects and get direct feedback, how I understood it. And please walk us now a little bit throughout your idea and how we as IAESTE can help you to build the Netflix of architecture.
With pleasure. INSPIRELI education is how to say, next development of INSPIRELI Awards, and it's another new point of view on our competition, because the problem was that now we have every year more than 1,000 contestants, or 1,500, and it's a huge amount. But my personal wish is to invite all students all around the world to share their ideas. But the issue, and maybe the barrier, can be that there can be only one winner. And to do so or such a big construction of society only because to celebrate one winner, it's really weak. And so I thought how to do that to support all of them. So then immediately, and it was not again, I was of course inspired by speaking with another people like you, and somebody told me, hey, maybe you have to ask them, the students, directly what they are focused on, what they want. And we figure out that what they want the most is that somebody cares about them, their project. Not, they don't care about the winners, because you are in a competition, you would like to achieve something. So this was the first. And the second, they said that they have big problem to know about the new innovations in architecture field, about how to contact new suppliers, how to be in touch with companies. So they said that they have these two issues. And whenever there is any issue, the advantage of INSPIRELI is that we can solve it immediately. So it was only, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, and we immediately integrated the feedback module into INSPIRELI. So each student, when they submit their project, they can ask for the feedback on 3D or on the project themselves itself. And we receive immediately 1,000 requests. So, and because we have the biggest jury, we could manage it like to connect one juror and one student from a different continent or different country together and publish openly the advice. Yes. So that was the base of the idea of INSPIRELI education. And another idea was to offer to companies to be a teachers of their new technologies, and of course to contribute with some money to be capable of building such a big INSPIRELI project. Because without money, it's because it's free for all students. We have to do something for partners, and the best idea was to change them into the teachers, because then they can be the best teachers in the world in case they are talking about what they are creating. So this was the idea, and because it was last year we built it, we start INSPIRELI education. But during the Christmas Eve, because I don't know how to stop my brain yet, so
that happens, Eve,
yeah. I got an idea that what is missing, because INSPIRELI education, we call it sort of virtual faculty of architecture because of these feedbacks. So, and I figured out that we miss lectures. So immediately I called to my team, and I was talking with everybody that I would like to somehow incorporate lectures into INSPIRELI education, but the problem is how to start and what will be the content, because you can ask everybody in the world, and hey, would you like to make a lecture, but then there will be lectures without any connections, and so we were talking, discussing, and then only two weeks after, we had the idea that there will be a copy, sort of we can call it Netflix here for architecture, but of course it will be INSPIRELI education lecture system. Yeah. And we decided that we will choose the best new buildings with new technologies. We will ask architect to contribute with his lecture about the designing of such a building, and then we will ask him to share with us all the companies which built anything in that project. Then we will ask them, would you like to make a lecture to present your part of this beautiful project? And we will put it together. We will ask, for example, of course, for some money contribution, but it will be divided according to the company. For example, in case it will be only worker, it will be for free, of course, because he has no money and he has maybe no ambition to be internationally promoted. But in case there is a rich company, they can invest some money to cover the cost of all about it. But let's imagine that very soon we can have, I don't know, 120 projects with maybe 15 or 20 videos, which are focused on really a different part of the buildings. It can be really nice education system, and which we would like to share with all universities all around the world. So it means that we will create, for example, one new skyscraper. Now the idea is for Denver skyscraper. We will create this website and we will send it to all universities through the IAESTE connection communication channels, and we will offer them, hey, it's for free, share it with students, and we are going to prepare another one. So it is really great support. And I started a little bit to talk about the economic background, because the same is in IAESTE. You have to live from anything. The same INSPIRELI. So the idea is that we can work together on this Netflix, and we can search for the companies who would like to promote themselves by this way, and we can share the money, the income, and I think it can be great support for our future growth. So it's the idea behind, and I have to say that we have already the final design of this Netflix. We are programming our own record system for lectures, and I think that next month there will be the first building.
Oh wow, that's I feel like when you say you want to do something, you just do it. And maybe for me that's quite interesting, because when you showed it at the annual conference and the idea about it, I had to think about a conversation. A friend of mine who is an architect, he studied here at the Technical University in Graz in Austria, architecture, and now he started his career. And he's now working with his company on a project in Austria. And when we were sitting together having some beers, and then he really explained to me what all the little parts other companies also doing. Is it with a civil engineering background? Is it the electric cabling everywhere? And how that all comes together then on this building? Because for me, I never thought about it. I was never interested in architecture, to be honest. I knew quite fast I wanted to go into the semiconductor industry. And for me, that was really eye-opening, and that's why I think that idea caught my attention. I think it can be really interesting, because breaking down the buildings then into the different technologies gives students also a total different feel about the how these technologies come together and what they have to think about, isn't it? I mean, in my imagination.
I think, Mark, that maybe it can help not only you but even me to understand the background of buildings.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. I mean, I meant architecture student as well, that they don't, that it's not just about design. It's not just about that it looks good, but how all these technologies work together. And I think especially in the world now, in the 21st century, we really have to focus on that. How do technologies come together to build something bigger? In that case, as an example, the Denver skyscraper.
Yeah, I think that it can be really amazing. Really, the value of information can be really huge.
Yes. Yes, I hope so too. And actually, unfortunately, we run a little bit out of time here. So maybe I want to wrap it up a little bit. And I think the partnership can be a very fruitful one. I really hope that, especially with is it with the Beirut Port project, or is it then with INSPIRELI Education, that we as the INSPIRELI can really work together to help architecture students, to, regardless of the social, economic, or ethnic background, to really accelerate their ideas, to really get direct feedback, and also to learn for their future careers. And yeah, maybe before I ask my last question, I always have one last question. Maybe anything else you want to share, Karel, before we come to that?
I have to say that when I was at the conference of IAESTE, I met a lot of. I was attending a lot of conferences, and I knew a lot of societies and groups of people doing something in common. But in my mind, or in my heart, there are only two I would like to highlight. One is the American Institute of Architects, because whenever there is a conference, there is really education part of it. Yeah, that you meet great architects. They are showing you their buildings, because they are not only talking about anything theoretically, but they are showing their best project in that countries. So this is the first one. And second one was IAESTE. When I saw that you are really working then, you are changing the internships I'm really proud that I have such a good partner, because
Yeah.
it's not only to be a part of something what, I don't know, performing something what has no
Yes.
value. What you are doing, you are really working, and you are doing. It's a that's IAESTE and American Software Architects, great partners
Oh,
for.
thank you. I mean, the exchange sessions, how we call it, were really exchange. For me, it was always for this year was actually the first time, or the second time actually. I was not actively exchanging something. For me, it was always like it had a kind of power. You really saw people in the room truly caring about employers, of course, but also much more about the students we have in IAESTE. I think as much as we care about students, you care about the architecture students in the INSPIRELI awards, and that's, I think, why we match. That's great, I guess. And yeah, thank you very much, Karel, for being here. It was really a true pleasure. And my last question I ask everyone, which will be, let's say, the final statement of you and of the podcast episode is, imagine you can now not just speak to me, but to every student on the planet. Is it an architect or not?
Mhm.
Why do you think, or where do you see the value to get for students to get involved with IAESTE or INSPIRELI awards? To yeah, where do you see the value?
I think that I'm not ready for that question. However, I think it's the same way that you understand that we have only one planet, and all conflicts are really stupid.
Yes.
We have to cooperate. We have to care, and maybe the goal is to be responsible. Is
Thank
the
you very
answer.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Karel.